It was a Friday night. One of those weirdly warm March evenings when you feel like anything could happen. My wife, Jessica, had dragged me to this party at her co-worker's loft downtown. She said it was a networking thing. Nothing serious, just wine, soft jazz, and boring office folks. I did not want to go, but she insisted, really insisted, in that sweet, manipulative way she always gets what she wants. We've been married 6 years. Or rather, I thought we were married 6 years. Lately, she has been different, distant. She used to text me dumb memes during her lunch breaks. Lately, nothing. Her phone suddenly had a password. Our bedroom? Cold. I asked her once if everything was okay. And she laughed. Laughed and said, "You re being paranoid. God, you re getting old and clingy?" Still, I shoved those doubts down. I loved her. That was my first mistake. At the party, I noticed something immediately. The energy between her and this guy. Tall, tan beard that was a little too clean was off. His name was Derek, apparently another manager at her firm. She did not introduce me to him. She avoided it. Instead, she glanced at me, then whispered something to him, and he smirked. That smirk haunted me all night. Later, I stepped out onto the balcony with a beer, trying to clear my head. That S when I saw it through the sliding glass door, partially hidden by a group of people talking. I caught Jessica's hand slipping down Derek's back. Her fingers grazing where no friendly co-worker should ever touch. And then she leaned in, whispered something in his ear. His hand gripped her waist like he owned her. She let him, my whole body froze. I did not storm in. I did not yell. I watched. I let the truth sink in. Let it burn its initials into my spine. That was the moment the illusion cracked. And in that exact moment, I made a decision. I was not going to confront her yet. Now, I was going to do something better, something she'd never see coming. Part 2 coming next, the setup. How I turned the tables without saying a word. You ready for it? It started with a silver bracelet, a thin, delicate thing, nothing flashy. I'd never seen it before. And that detail mattered because Jessica never wore jewelry without making it a whole event. She'd announced a new necklace like it was a Pulitzer win. But that night, as we were getting ready for her co-worker's party, some loft gathering, she said was barely worth going to. She slipped it on silently, almost like she was trying to forget it was there. But I noticed. I noticed things, not because I'm paranoid or jealous. Though I'm sure that's how she'd spin it if I asked. I noticed because I've lived in the background of her life long enough to memorize every tiny shift. And that bracelet was not for me. The car ride was quiet, not the kind of quiet that's comfortable, but the kind where your ears start to invent sound just to fill the vacuum. She scrolled through her phone the entire time, laughing softly, once at something, then catching herself and locking the screen. When I asked what was funny, she paused too long and said, "Just a meme, you would not get it." We got to the party. And instantly she moved through the crowd like she belonged to someone else. No hand on my arm, no introduction, not even a look back, just vanished into this mess of finance bros and curated playlists. I stayed near the drinks, some kind of cranberry fizz and overpriced whiskey. I chatted with a guy named Cole who worked in logistics, and clearly did not want to be there either. He was mid-rant about company politics when I saw her halfway across the room. Next to a man I did not recognize, tall, sharp, smile too white. He was angled toward her in that way men are when they already halfway sure they've got the girl. And she was laughing in a way I had not seen in months, one hand casually on his chest, her head tilted. She did that thing she used to do with me, where she traced circles on someone's arm while pretending not to notice she was doing it. I did not blink. I did not flinch. I just memorized the moment. And then it happened. They disappeared. Not together, not obviously. She stepped into the hallway first, murmured something to a friend on the way. A few minutes later he followed. I waited exactly 1 minute. Then I followed to the hallway led to a guest bedroom and a bathroom. The bathroom door was open. The bedroom was not. I knocked once. No answer. I turned the handle. Locked. My heart did not pound. My palms did not sweat. I felt something colder, something mechanical take over. I knocked again harder. Then I said one word. Jessica, silence. And then footsteps. The door opened just a crack. And there she was, perfectly framed. Lips just slightly smeared. Hair suspiciously touched. Eyes flickering like a fire was behind them. Oh, she said, breathless, but trying to sound casual. I was just spirit. I said. My voice was not loud. It was too flat to be loud. I'm not stupid. Do not insult both of us. And then behind her he appeared, shirt still buttoned, face blank, not guilty, not smug, just blank, like this was something he did twice a week. Maybe it was. Jessica stepped fully out of the room, closed the door behind her. I thought she'd apologize. Cry, plead, maybe even scream. Instead, she smiled. Not kindly. You always ruin things. She said. You know that sentence, that exact arrangement of words, that was the real betrayal. She was not sorry. She was not ashamed. She was not even surprised she got caught. She was annoyed, as if I had ruined her night by not being a clueless background prop. I did not respond. I just stared at her until she looked away, then turned and walked back into the party. I did not follow her. I left quietly. No drama, no scene. I was not ready for that part yet. What she did not know, what made everything that came next so much better, was that I had not just seen the truth. I had recorded it. And the game was only beginning. The Uber ride home felt like floating underwater, not because I was numb. No, it was the opposite. I felt everything rage that pulsed behind my eyes, betrayal like acid down my throat. But more than anything else, cold, calculating clarity. She was not just cheating. She was proud of it. Like she thought she'd earned it. Jessica had always been two-faced, the kind of woman who smiled sweetly in public, but slashed you with words when the doors closed. But that night, when she looked at me like I was the inconvenience, something inside me snapped, and then something else switched on. I did not sleep when I got home. I sat in the dark with a notebook in my lap, planning step 1, play the fool. She expected anger, tears, a tantrum, but I gave her silence. That silence was power. The next morning, she came home around 9 a.m., still wearing the same dress from the party, heels in her hand, hair a little messier than it should have been. She dropped her purse by the door like nothing was wrong. Why do you leave early? She asked, faking a yawn. You're always so dramatic at parties. I did not even look at her. Just said did not feel well. She paused, maybe realizing I was not taking the bait. Then you're not mad, right? You looked weird last night. I finally looked up at her and smiled, not warmly, not cruelly either. Just patiently. No, I said, everything is fine. That was the first moment she got scared. Over the next week, I started collecting, quietly, methodically. I watched her routine, and it was so much easier than I'd imagined. She was not even careful. Tuesday nights, she suddenly had late meetings. Friday, she was going to yoga with her friend Lauren, except Lauren was in Arizona visiting her sister. Jessica did not even know I talked to Lauren. Sloppy, I bought a burner phone, got a cheap mic from Amazon, hid it in the car, under the seat, got everything. Her calls, her sickening little voice giggling things like, God, I feel alive with you, Derek. He just does not get me anymore. I almost laughed. The audacity. I paid for her car, her vacations, her dumb little art classes that she always quit halfway through. But I did not get her. Meanwhile, I started lining things up, opened a separate bank account, hired a lawyer, quietly, discreetly, pulled copies of every shared financial doc, dug up every message, every video, every voicemail. By the time Saturday rolled around, I had a digital war chest that would make the devil flinch. And then came the perfect opportunity, our annual house dinner with friends, 8 people, our place, nice wine, good food. And Jessica, she loved showing off our life, her curated little fantasy of being the perfect couple. I told her we should host it. She lit up like a teenager, said it was a great idea. Of course it was, because I had a plan. Saturday came faster than I expected. The house looked like something out of a Pottery Barn catalog. Jessica was in full step-forward wife mode. Cheese board arranged like a Renaissance painting, Jez humming in the background, that insufferable candle she always lights for company burning in the kitchen. Mahogany teakwood. Because of course it is, she wore red lipstick to the bold kind she used to save for date nights with me. And yet again, it was not for me. Our guests arrived at 7, 8 of them total friends from work, college pals, one couple I barely tolerated. And of course, Derek, yeah, she invited him. That was the final insult, in case you were wondering, not the betrayal itself, not even the lies. But the arrogance, the belief that I was so stupid, so checked out, that she could bring her side piece into my home, sit him at my table, drink my wine, and I just smile like a dumb dog. But remember, I'd already won. She just did not know it yet. Dinner was calm, pleasant, even everyone laughed. Told stories. Derek tried to charm the table with some boring story about a trip to Portugal. I let him talk. I let her laugh at his jokes, the same way she used to laugh at mine. Then dessert, I stood up, tapped my glass, smiled. Before we dig into this masterpiece Jessica made, I began. I wanted to show you all something. Jessica blinked. Show them what? I pulled out my laptop, plugged it into the TV. This is just a little collection of memories, I said, moments from the past few weeks. I figured, hey, why not share a slice of our life? Right? Everyone laughed politely. Jessica did not. Her eyes narrowed. The screen flickered on. The first just photos. Her and me on a hike with friends. Smiling. Normal. Innocent. Then audio. And I'm say it again. Her voice giggled. Say what you want to do to me when he's not around. Click next clip. Derek's voice. If he ever finds out, he would not do a damn thing. He's soft. You told me that yourself. Click next one. Jessica. I do not even feel bad anymore. He's not a man. He's furniture. Dead silence. You know that sound a room makes when everyone forgets how to breathe. That Jessica stood up. Lips parted like she might say something clever. But no words came out. I closed the laptop. Anyway, I said, still smiling. Just thought I'd give you all a behind-the-scenes look. Derek stood up. Dude, I raised a hand. Calm, dead calm. You can leave. Now, both of you. Jessica stepped toward me. You set me up. She hissed, her voice shaking not with guilt, but fury. You set yourself up. I said. I just hit play. Derek made for the door without a word. Jessica followed, but not before turning and snarling, actually snarling at me in front of everyone. You'll regret this. You think this makes you look strong? It makes you look pathetic. And then she was gone. Her wine glass still sat at the table untouched. The door closed behind Jessica with a soft click. That was it. No screaming. No Sabin. No last-minute apology. Just silence, the kind that echoes for a full 10 seconds. No one at the table moved. Forks frozen midair, eyes darting around like someone had fired a gun, and they were waiting for the second shot. Then Cole, the only guy there who'd known both of us for years, let out a low whistle. Jesus, man. I shrugged. Dessert. Any one couple people actually laughed nervously. Because what else do you do after watching your host detonate a 6-year marriage in Dolby Surround? People started to murmur, shifting in their seats. One couple left immediately. We've got an early morning. They mumbled as if the house was on fire, and they did not want to admit they smelled the smoke. But a few stayed. Cole, Danny and her girlfriend Harper, even Rick, who always hated Jessica, but had never said it out loud until that night. Was it real? Harper asked. Like really real? I pulled out the burner phone, played one more clip. Jessica. Sometimes I hope he finds out just so I can watch what he does. Probably cry. Harper winced. Okay, Jesus. I always thought she was cold. Danny muttered, but that she was a snake. Rick added, swirling his wine. You finally chopped the damn head off. Everyone had their memories. Things they'd seen, things they'd swallowed to keep the peace. The stories poured out like venom. Times she insulted me in front of them. Times she flirted with other men right beside me. Times they watched me laugh it off like an idiot. I thought you were okay with it. Cole finally said. I thought maybe that was your dynamic. No, I said quietly. I just forgot what it felt like to be respected. That hit different. By midnight the house was quiet again. The plates were cleared. The wine was gone. Everyone left one by one. Each of them giving me that look. The kind of look you give a guy who is either about to fall apart or burn down the city. No one was sure which. I did not sleep that night. I sat in bed, staring at the dark ceiling, letting every version of her, every memory, every kiss, every lie dissolve. She had not texted, had not called, nothing. But the silence spoke volumes. The next morning, I woke up to a full inbox: mutual friends, her friends, my friends, even her mother, who wrote a 3-paragraph email titled, "This could have been handled privately." She wanted to humiliate me in silence, to rot me out from the inside while smiling in public. And now that I had turned the lights on, everyone wanted me to lower them again. Not a chance. What I did not expect, though, was who took her side. That's coming next, because betrayal does not always come from where you expect. Sometimes it walks through your front door and hugs you. You think betrayal hits hardest when it comes from a lover. Does not. It hits hardest when it comes from the people who are supposed to protect you. The ones who've seen you crawl through hell before and still decide, nah, not my fight. 2 days after the dinner, 2 days of radio silence from Jessica. I got a call from my sister Megan. First, I thought she was checking in. She always had my back growing up. When our dad left, she was the one who told me not all people break their promises, even when they do walk away. But that was not this call. She cleared her throat, voice weirdly flat. Jessica called me. I said nothing. She's a mess. Megan continued. She said you exposed her in front of people, played recordings. She cheated on me. I said multiple times. She was not even hiding it anymore. She said you ambushed her? Megan snapped. Like you planned it all just to humiliate her. I could not believe what I was hearing. I laughed. Could not help it. Megan, I said. She has been sleeping with her coworker for months. She invited the guy into our house. And I'm the one who needs defending. She said you were emotionally distant. Controlling. There it was. Jessica's poison already in the bloodstream. Controlling. I said. I let her walk all over me. I paid for everything. I begged her to talk to me when she started pulling away. And you know what she said? That I was furniture. You want to hear it? I've got the clip. Megan went quiet. Too quiet. Then she hit me with it. You could have handled it like a man. Not like a revenge-hungry psycho. That was it. The moment I realized my sister, the one person I thought would always stand by me, had chosen her. Or worse, chosen the illusion of what our marriage looked like from the outside. I hung up, did not yell, did not plead, just ended the call. 10 minutes later, I blocked her number. 1 hour later, I poured every family photo that had Jessica in it into a box and shoved it in the garage. That same day, Jessica finally texted, "Wow, you really want a war? Fine. Just ego. Just venom." She did not realize I was not fighting anymore. The war was already over. I had the truth. She had smoke and mirrors. But the part that burned was realizing how many people liked the mirrors more. Next up was the lawyer, because I was not just ending a marriage. I was ending the performance. You want revenge? You do not scream. You do not post cryptic quotes. You do not break things. You go silent. And you plan. And I had planned everything. The morning after Megan's betrayal and Jessica's little "you want to war" text, I met with my lawyer, Eli Katz, a man who looks like he has been personally sued by Satan and won. No small talk. No sympathy. Just strategy. I slid the burner phone across the table and said, "Everything you need is on there." He plugged it into his laptop, listened to 30 seconds of audio, then smiled, the kind of smile you only see in predators right before they strike. "I assume she does not know you lawyer up?" he asked. "She thinks I'm just sulking?" "Good," he said, "let us keep it that way." The thing about Jessica, she was cocky, but lazy. She never updated our finances. Never looked at the taxes. Had no idea what accounts were in my name, or what properties we actually shared versus what I held separately through an LLC. She thought she was walking away from the marriage with half. She did not know I'd already moved everything with my name on it into a trust. She thought she'd play the victim. She did not know I had recordings, voice, video, text, all time-stamped, proving adultery in our state that still means something. And she definitely did not know I'd already served the papers. Eli filed them that afternoon. Process server delivered them the next morning at her office in front of Derek, in front of the entire team. Classy envelope. No drama. Just served. She did not text. She called screaming. "You absolute F***, and you snake." She hissed, "You humiliate me at dinner, and then serve me papers at work. You think that's clever?" "No," I said, "I think it's overdue. You'll regret this." She spat. "No, Jess," I said, calm as ice. "I regret marrying you. Everything else. That's just correction." Then I hung up. Did not answer when she called again. Over the next week, her world started unraveling fast. She tried to freeze our accounts. Too late. Tried to pull mutual assets already separated. Tried to sell her sob story to mutual friends. They heard the tapes, and then came the hearing. She showed up with a new lawyer, expensive suit. Crocodile tears, tried to claim emotional abuse, manipulation. All the classic Hail Marys of a guilty spouse. Eli let her talk. Did not interrupt. Did not even blink. Then, like a magician, he pulled out the receipts. Audio, video, financials, witness statements, all timed, all legal, all bulletproof. Jessica sat there silent, blinking like a deer, realizing the headlights were not slowing down. By the end of it, she lost the house. She lost her share of the investment portfolio. She was ordered to pay my legal fees due to malicious conduct. And best of all, she had to give up the car I bought her, which I already sold clean, surgical, silent. She stormed out of court like a cartoon villain, muttering something about getting even. But even the judge gave her a look like, "Please stop embarrassing yourself." As for me, I did not celebrate. I did not gloat. I just exhaled for the first time in what felt like years. The marriage was over. But the aftershocks, oh, they were just getting started. You'd think after court. After the whole truth, grenade, I dropped on her pristine little life. Jessica would disappear, vanish into her shame, find a new victim, maybe even grow up a little. But no, 2 weeks after the court hearing, I got a text from her, just one word: coffee. I stared at the screen like it had grown teeth. I did not respond. So she sent another, "Just want to talk. No drama. You owe me that much." I owe you? That was rich. But I agreed. Not because I wanted closure. That ship had burned, sunk, and been eaten by sharks. No, I wanted to see her, wanted to look into those eyes again. Now that the mask was off, and watch her try to pretend she was still the same person. We met at a tiny cafe near the courthouse, neutral ground. She showed up in sunglasses. No makeup. Dressed down like she wanted to look human. Like she was someone worth pity. It was a performance, but a weak one, like she'd lost her script. We sat for a while. She just stirred her coffee. Then she said, "I did not expect you to be so ruthless." I laughed once. Quietly. That's funny. "I did not expect you to be so stupid." She flinched just a little, then leaned in. "You enjoyed it, did not you? Watching me squirm, turning everyone against me." "I did not have to turn anyone," I said. "You did that yourself. I just let the light in." And then she said it, the weirdest apology I've ever heard. I'm sorry you had to go to such lengths, but you pushed me there. You made me feel invisible. Like that was an apology. I was invisible. I asked while I paid your bills, loved you through your moods, supported every dumb thing you chased and quit. You do not understand how hard it is to be with someone so stable all the time. She whispered, and there it was. That was the real truth. She did not want stability. She wanted chaos she could control. She wanted a man to orbit her like a sun, grateful just to be in her presence, while she danced with devils behind his back. I stood up, tossed a 20 on the table. Thanks for confirming I made the right call, I said, then I left. But that night, I got another message, not from her, from a number I did not recognize. Just a photo of me sitting in the cafe, across from Jessica, taken through the window. No caption, no explanation. Just the image. Someone had been watching us. And suddenly, this whole thing did not feel over, not even close. I stared at that photo for a long time. The angle was high, like someone was standing across the street, maybe on the second floor of the building across from the cafe. It was a clean shot. Me leaning forward, Jessica mid-sentence, her hands frozen in some dramatic gesture. There was no message, no threat, just the image. But it was enough to make my skin crawl. I texted back, "Who is this?" No response, called the number straight to voicemail. Burner, of course. At first, I thought maybe Jessica was playing games, trying to spook me, reel me back in with some twisted drama. Would not be the first time she turned reality into performance art. But something felt different about this. This was not her style. Her style was chaos, loud, messy, obvious. This was clinical. I did not sleep that night. Instead, I pulled out the footage from the security cam I had installed on my car dash, the one Jessica never knew about. It faces the front of the house, captures everyone who comes and goes at 4:12 a.m. Someone walked past the driveway, stopped, turned, then they snapped a photo of my front door. Same burner number sent it to me 10 minutes later. Now it was personal. Next morning I filed a report. Cops were polite, but not exactly motivated. Could be a prank. They said XS do weird things. Yeah, no kidding. I called Eli, my lawyer, told him everything. He sighed. Like this was not his first post-divorce psychodrama. I'll put a private investigator on it, he said, just in case. Jessica asked, doubt it. He said, she's reckless, not calculated. That S when it hit me. Derek, he had motive. I dehumiliated him in front of half their office. Word had spread. A few sources told me he'd been pulled into HR. Unofficially, company image concerns. He had not been fired. But he'd been warned. If Jessica was toxic gasoline, Derek was the match she handed to the wrong guy. And now it looked like he was trying to set a fire of his own. Later that day, Harper texted me, said she got an anonymous DM from a throwaway Instagram account. It had a photo of me shirtless, walking from the gym, caption, "Your friend's not as innocent as he acts." Same vibe. Same someone's watching you energy. But this time they were trying to spin a story, twist the narrative. And suddenly I realized this was not just about scaring me. It was about undermining me, making it look like I was not the victim here. Like I had something to hide. I was not just dealing with a bitter ex-wife. I was dealing with someone who wanted to rewrite history. But I had one advantage. The truth was on my side. And I had one card left to play that I've always believed. If someone is watching you, do not run, wave back, let them think you re unaware, let them grow comfortable, then slam the F*** and G door behind them. That night I set the stage. I created a story, a fake one, and made sure it leaked in all the right ways. I accidentally left my gym schedule in public view on Instagram, marked a fake appointment, posted a vague story with a location tag near the park. Then, using an old phone ID rigged with a motion detector app, I left it hidden inside my car, which I parked a block away from the supposed meeting point. Then I waited, and sure as hell, the ghost came sniffing. At 6:17 p.m. My decoy phone buzzed. Motion detected near my car. I checked the feed from the dashcam. There he was. Derek. Hat pulled low, hoodie on, phone in hand, scanning the area like he thought he was James Bond in a CVS parking lot. He circled the car, tried to peek inside. Then he walked away, but not far. He stood across the street behind a tree like the world's worst spy, staring at my car, waiting for someone to show up. He stood there for 26 minutes, and I got every second of it. Eli had a guy ex-cop turned private eye, Nash. Sounded like he chewed gravel and showered in whiskey. He'd been keeping tabs on Derek for a few days. But this was confirmation. We had everything now. Video of him stalking me. Proof of his attempt to frame me online. And cherry on top, one of the burner numbers finally pinged a cell tower too close to his condo to be coincidence. Now it was time to end it. Eli drafted a cease and desist with threat of civil suit, harassment, defamation, stalking, and considering the photo outside my home, trespassing. We served it to him in person at his job with Nash watching from across the street grinning. 2 hours later, I got a text block number, probably his last burner. You should have just taken the L. I did not reply. I forwarded it to Nash. And then I sent one final message to Jessica. Control your trash before someone else does. She did not respond. She did not need to. She knew this little game they played, the sneaky messages, the spying, the smear campaign, all of it had collapsed. I dragged it into the light, and it shriveled like the rotting thing it was. But even as the dust started to settle, I was not celebrating because there was still one piece left on the board. And that piece was me. That it's been 3 months since the storm passed, 3 months since I cracked open a 6-year illusion and watched the truth crawl out like rot from under the floorboards, 3 months since I buried the man I used to be, the one who thought loyalty was bulletproof, the one who mistook patience for peace. Let me tell you what I've learned. First, betrayal does not start with a kiss or a lie. It starts when someone stops choosing you. And they never say it out loud. No, they just drift. Stop touching you when they pass. Laugh quieter. Tell shorter stories. Start talking around you instead of to you. Jessica left me long before Derek ever touched her. She just did not have the spine to say goodbye like a human being. She needed a villain to justify the crime. And she tried to make me that villain. But I did not give her the story she wanted. I gave her the truth. And the truth does not care how pretty your lies are. After the cease and desist hit Derek like a freight train, the messages stopped. The smear attempts vanished. And Jessica, she went dark. No more cryptic texts. No more drama. The last thing I ever got from her was a photo. A house she and I once talked about buying, old Victorian big porch, overgrown garden. No cops, Jen, just the house. I stared at it for a while, trying to feel something. I did not. That night, I took every photo, every gift, every letter she ever gave me. And I built a fire in the backyard. Nothing dramatic, no whiskey in hand, no music playing, just flames, silence, and closure. And as I watched those pages curl into black lace and drift into the air, I thought about all the men who read this, the ones seeing the red flags and swallowing them like vitamins, the ones being lied to every day and still making breakfast in the morning, the ones who confused endurance for love. Here's what I'll tell you. The one thing that matters: watch how she treats you when she does not need you, not when she wants something, not when she is scared to lose comfort. But when you read just there offering nothing but yourself, if she rolls her eyes at your kindness, if she mocks your presence, if she looks at you like a shadow in her spotlight, walk, or one day, you wake up realizing you built a kingdom for a queen who never planned to stay. And all she leave behind are ashes and empty rooms. As for me, I'm not bitter, I'm clear, and clarity, that's better than revenge.